Here is a question for you. What is the greatest engineering feat in history? Is it the Great Wall of China, the largest man-made structure ever built? Or perhaps it's the modern marvel of the world, the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building on Earth? How about the Colosseum, an architectural masterpiece that stood the test of time? Or maybe the Panama Canal, an impressive feat of engineering that connects two great oceans? Well, believe it or not, none of these structures are the answer. Instead, it is this right here, the Suez Canal, arguably one of the most important man-made structures ever created. It is so important that even today, every single day, 12,000 ships pass through it. And can you imagine just how much trade and money that is worth? But how did such an important structure come to be? And what are the stories and lives that made it possible? That is what we will explore today. In 1815, an Egyptian viceroy sat down and wrote a letter to the French authorities outlining his idea to create a canal from the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea. The journey between Europe and Asia was long and dangerous. It took weeks to go around Africa. But if there was a canal in Egypt, then the trip would be much shorter, much safer, and far more profitable. In fact, the idea had been considered many times before, as far back as the time of the pharaohs, but it was never seriously considered until now. After decades of planning in 1859, the French diplomat Ferdinand de Lesseps finally received the concession to build the canal, but when he started digging, he found that it was much harder than he thought. Every single day, thousands of workers dug by hand through the desert heat. It seemed like an endless job with very little progress being made. Ships from all over the world arrived carrying men, supplies, and equipment. The British came with their famous engineer William Cubitt, who helped solve many of the technical problems. And the French came with their military leader, General Lobau, who kept order among the workers. As the canal neared completion, excitement grew around the world. Newspapers printed stories about the progress of the canal, and people began to wonder what the reaction would be when it opened. On November 17, 1869, the entire world watched as the first ship sailed through the Suez Canal. To celebrate, a massive party was held in Cairo. People from all over the world came to the opening ceremony. There was the French Emperor Napoleon III, the Russian, the Austrians, the Ottoman, the British, and many more. Even the King of Sweden and Norway showed up, although he wasn't really the king. At this point, he was just the crown prince, but we all know him today as the famous King Oscar II. The festivities lasted for days with parades, parties, and fireworks. When Ferdinand de Lesseps gave his speech to the crowd, he said, "The works are finished, and the canal is open. We have opened an eighth wonder of the world. From the rising to the setting sun, the world is now more compact. The earth is closer to the Mediterranean and the Pacific. The shores of Europe are nearer to those of Asia. All the nations of the earth are united in the same enterprise. The old continents seem to come closer to each other. We have undertaken this work for the benefit of all nations. Its advantages belong to humanity. It has been built by France, but it belongs to the world." Though unfortunately, the celebration didn't last forever. Soon, arguments broke out between the French and British over who owned the canal. This led to a confrontation between the French president and the British prime minister, which almost caused a war between the two countries. But in the end, they agreed that the Suez Canal would be open to all nations, which is why even today, ships from every country sail through it. Every year, millions of tourists visit Egypt and sail through the canal. They may not know the history behind it, but they know that it is an amazing sight to see. And don't take our word for it. Let's finish with the words of the famous French writer Victor Hugo, who said, "The Canal of Suez, the modern Prometheus, is chained to the eternal rocks of the desert. Nothing in the world seems more marvelous, more superlative than this artificial river of 100 miles in length, dug in the sand by the sweat of the brow, a work without an equal, without an example, without an origin or a precedent. No other human work of the same order can be compared to it. A triumph of the human mind over nature, it is a masterpiece of labor, a prodigy of organization. A new wonder of the world has been born. The art of engineering has outdone itself in this unprecedented work. The Canal of Suez is a poem in stone. It is one of the glories of the human race. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more epic stories from history.